Okay, how was your experience as an international student in US?
As an international student, I've had a mixed feelings about my experience. Overall, it has been good because I like to weigh my experience based on the things I've learned since I've come here. Speaking in terms of education, I have got to learn a lot, and I've learned a lot, and I believe I've done, coming to US was one of my best decisions rather than studying back home. Um, in terms of culture, I believe US been very welcoming to me. I've had no issues adjusting with the people here. Um, I think that's probably because I grew up in Dubai, where you have a lot of multicultural societies already, and it's very easy to communicate. Growing up, I found it really easy to communicate with various kind of peoples and networking with them. So, yeah, I would say my experience in the US have been pretty good.
What makes studying in United States a good experience?
Mm. Um, in the US, I would say there's freedom. There's so much flexibility in the educational system. First things first, the studying in the US is a good experience because you can get into any field you like. You can, if you want to study a minor, major, you want to change your major, you can do pretty much have any flexibility. Other thing would be now when I came to US, I took two transfers already, and taking two transfers was a rough experience. But again, taking transfers was not as bad as I thought. The transition was really easy. I knew what to do, where to go, who to find, who to network with, and it was on a relative scale really easier. One interesting thing that I found here is what makes it particularly for me a good experience is people here are willing to help. They on a relative scale, I don't feel that people judge you as compared to what I've experienced living with various cultures here. That's a good thing I like about US. This is US, being a culture. Experiencing American culture, one peculiar thing is people on a relative scale don't judge, and that makes for me really easy to communicate and view my thoughts, my experiences, my thinking style, and people are usually welcoming. They hear, they accept it, and if they want to make recommendations, they feel free, and I don't feel there's any sort of barrier or in communicating. So communication is one thing that has really helped me in providing me a good experience in the US, especially in terms of studies.
What makes studying in United States a bad experience?
I don't believe I don't believe in bad experiences. I've not had any bad experiences yet. Well, I've had few, but that's probably because me making mistakes on my side, not making good, educated decisions about myself. But again, that's part of the experience. That's how you learn. You should do the things that you like, and at the end of the day, you may realize that might be a good thing. What you did was maybe good, or was probably bad based off your experience. But yes, having all kind of experiences again very necessary. It is very important for overall character development. And this bad experience to me, I believe, is very valuable because this has aided me in nurturing and bringing out the maturity in me throughout the years I've lived here, and I've got a lot more independent because of that, and I feel bad experiences. I don't believe in bad experiences. They have always helped me all kind of bad experiences have helped me in learning new things. As I mentioned earlier, I had taken 2 transfers. My first transfer was from Kentucky to Georgia, and that was mainly due to financial reasons. But my second reason for transferring from Georgia to Louisiana was mainly because of the culture issues that I had. I found it easy. I found that it is very easy to actually get addicted to drugs and alcohol here, and the environment in that school was not at all good, not at all what I had expected, what I've heard or what I've seen about, from social media and from my peers. So I found myself getting addicted to those things, and over the period of time, I realized that I've, traveled so many miles across the globe, all the way from my home, just to study here, and at the end of the day, I'm, wasting my time indulging in things that I shouldn't be doing. So these are the few bad experiences that I've had, but again, these were learning experiences. I learned from those experiences, and hence that is the reason I made a decision to move out, and I successfully moved out of that place, and I feel I have made one of the best decisions yet. I'm exactly in the place where I should be. I'm exactly getting what I want, and I think that has really fortified my decision-making abilities.
What do you miss about your home country? What makes you homesick?
Ease of traveling, I would say. Here, when I came to the US first, I grew up in a city. I'm more accustomed to city life, and being in the city, you can get everything. Everything is at your disposal, and you have access to everything. And in a short time, you can be anywhere, do what you want, or get wherever you want. Here, when I first came here, everything was so deserted, especially in South. Now, again, I lived in South, so this might not be a true perspective because I've never been in the North, so I cannot really say how the North is. But being in the South when I first came, it was so deserted. I felt it was more of a war zone than actually a city that I'm actually going to be living in. But yeah, ease of traveling. Of course, I miss my family. I miss all my friends. Again, back in Dubai, I had studied in several different schools. I made a lot of friends from different areas, so different regions of the country. So yes, I do miss my friends. Nightlife, I do miss my nightlife and the sports that I used to play there. Here, sports that they play here, we don't get the opportunity. I'm not a fan of American sports, and the life often gets here pretty lethargic kind, and fatigued feel, or same thing. So yeah, those are the things, and of course the food. I really miss the food. Coming here, food is more of a necessity than luxury as it used to be. Before I used to take everything for granted, but now I really realize that how much I miss my mom's food. So yeah, those are the things I really miss. And again, what I've experienced is that bad experiences that I've had is mostly comes from the cultural aspects. If the culture is not good, I feel that I might, be more susceptible to change and be part of that culture. And before coming to United States, I made a clear picture that why I'm going there, what I want to do, and where I see myself in the next 6 to 7 years. And knowing that, I had to make decisions based off the culture and experiences. In Georgia, culture was not academically oriented. People procrastinated a lot. They didn't seem to care a lot about things. They were pretty lazy, I would say. It's not just us, but even the other international students, because that's how the culture was. So, and it was more of a party sort culture. So that's what made bad experiences.
How different is your country from the US? What is so different?
Mm, there are a lot of differences. I would like to first start with the similarities. Um, well, unity, there's a cross-cultural and cross-functional environment. That is one major similar thing. You'll see people all around the world working together and being productive and constructive. Differences, as far as the differences goes, again, US has their own culture. Americans have their own culture. You do get to experience other cultures as well, but they're not that well pronounced, given the sheer scale of US when compared to Dubai. In Dubai, you get to pretty much taste anything you like, whether it be fashion, whether it be food, anything you say. And one of the main reasons, or one of the things where you see all this are the shopping malls. Shopping malls have got everything in them. You want to have something French for breakfast, you can have French. Not necessarily, you might not get to eat French breakfast in the US. Or, it's just, there's so much more that Dubai has to offer than the US, if you want to go to a theme park, you can go to a theme park anytime. It's just, everything is in such a close range. You don't have to travel for 4 hours, 5 hours, and things like that, and spend another rest of your time in traffic. And things are quick there. Everything is at your disposal, and I wouldn't say, of course, yes, the food is pretty popular. Arabic food is again very popular there, and there's no really big difference. It's just that more of a city life, and here in the south, it's totally the opposite of that. And there's more liveliness. The environment over there is always you feel invigorated. You always feel active or being productive. Coming from such environment, my transition was a little difficult because I got really lazy here. So yeah, those things and those kind of things, I feel those are the main things I feel US is different than Dubai. Of course, there are many other reasons, but as a general international experience, that's what I would say.
What have you done to adjust in US?
I would say networking first. When I came here first, I was told by my advisor that one of the key skills that will come handy is networking, and I feel very fortunate enough that she told me at a very early stage. Of course, in the beginning, I didn't take it as seriously, but I realized over the time that yes, it is very important. You need to network. Until unless you don't network to as many people as you can, you are not going to get a good self-culture. You're going to make assumptions, and you are eventually going to end up doing wrong things, or things that might be considered alien to others, or not likable. I have Now, I have different experiences. As I said, first I came to Kentucky, and given the amount of networking I did, I got a very good response from my friends or from the audience over there. They were very welcoming. It was very easy. They were very friendly. Let's say, for instance, whenever I used to get free time, I used to call them. They used to say, "Hey, come on over. We can hang out, or we can play, or we can do this, or we can go there." And there's always something to do. They were always up to. They never said no. I never got no. I never got bored either. Then, as I transitioned to Georgia, again the culture was got a little self-centered over there. It wasn't as friendly as it was given. Again, it's not that my networking skills, yeah, they improved a bit. I got a better understanding of culture, but again, with that level of networking and maturity, I couldn't adjust to that culture very well. But then coming down to here, Louisiana, again, I've had more problems actually. I feel here that in terms of communication, there is lack of communication here. I feel people don't connect here to each other on a regular basis, as well as if you're talking about something, I don't feel I'm being connected to you. I don't feel I'm part of the community. Now again, like coming here, in Louisiana, after experiencing 2 years up in Georgia and Kentucky, I got a culture shock here, and mainly because of the sort of a conservative culture that I've experienced here. People mind their own business. Yeah, that's fine. That's how it should be. But there needs to be a minimal level of interaction among the people here. So because that is not there, I feel disconnected. I don't know most of the time what's going on. Like I feel I don't know what's going on, what kind of perspective people have, or whether they have good perspective, bad perspective. Should I be doing things differently? I don't know whether I'm making mistakes here or whether I'm doing good. So this sense of connectedness that you get through communication, I feel lacks here, and that is what has added difficulties in my academic life as well as social life.
What other things do you desire that would make your transition smoother in the US?
Things that I desire would be, I feel, the faculties or, the related people or associated people with the university should get a little more involved. I've heard from my peers who have been in big universities where they talk about how faculty members come and they basically help international students. Let's say it's the final week and they show up in the mess, or they show up in the cafe or the food court and they serve students. I mean, I feel a very good morale boost for the students. It means that it gives you a good sense that you're in a good community, well-behaved community. They want you to be constructive, they want you to be productive, they want you to care about each other and things like that. I would definitely desire to have such kind of things where you have more involvement from professors, from the president. We come here, we are minorities. Of course, we want somebody to. We should get a sense that okay, if we have somebody at our back, or there's somebody to look after us, or we are a valuable member to the university. Throughout my student experience, I've not got to meet any the president of any university that I've been so far, but it's not like that all over the United States from what I know from my peers. So yeah, those kind of things. Another thing would be bringing in more unity, like bringing if you cannot say do that, then how about bringing in students from other states? Now, what I've seen or what I've observed or experienced living in Kentucky is that there were students from a lot of other states, and everybody being coming from a different niche, and seeing people they don't know. A lot of people here talk about the high school students, and that's what they get along with, and that's what they grow up with, and they don't tend to peep into other people's life. They don't care really. So yeah, bringing in more students from the other state would be desirable. I feel it will again bring in more diversity, and not only make a more comprehensive community, but also make networking not only among us but also the Americans a little more easier, since we know everybody feels the same as you do. So. Now, I was born in India and raised in Dubai. So now again, Dubai is multicultural, multilingual, and the people practice, of course, they practice different religions there. Given all that, there is still stability, there is still peace. It is, from the experiences and what experts say, that it is easier to, to enforce laws or to keep in check with the peace. Again, so coming here in the U.S. again, yes, there is the multicultural society. You are free to do whatever you want. So this unity factor is what helps bring more from an individual. That's where I feel the societies are more progressive and constructive as compared to just people from a particular niche. So yes, that's another thing I would like to say, that experiencing all this sense of unity and different cultures, I found it really easy to communicate with the people here, and I had a little more broader perspective than a regular Indian coming from India about how things are. Usually I have seen there's a big difference between the citizens. When it comes to, let's say, anybody, as a matter of fact, coming from a country to the US, there's usually a difference in civic sense. So that comes into play. So this is, you get to learn, and yes, unity is something really important, corroborated with diversity. Other good things coming to the US as an international student, I would say, is that I've become fiercely independent. I have worked my way up. I remember I used to be a really lazy student. I didn't used to get things done on time. And coming here, I've got such a good understanding of how to plan things out. I feel planning is very important, and at the same time taking actions as well. So these are the things that I feel really grateful about coming in the US. This is something they have done really well. Other thing would be discipline. They have, as I said, I'm lazy, and I usually don't keep. I'm not disciplined when it comes to time, and so maintaining a timeline is something also I've learned, to be on time, to eat well, to live well, to go out, to do several things, like do your academics but also do your sports, but try your best to manage all of them. Just don't do one thing. So yes, overall good character development is something I feel is a good experience US has provided me with. And the other thing I really like about the US is the amount of freedom you get. Now, coming from Dubai, Dubai is a it's not a democratic country. It's ruled by a monarch. You have dictators over there, and you can't just do anything you say, or you cannot. You don't have freedom of speech or anything like that here. Because you don't have all that restrictions here, you feel you are, on par with everybody. One thing I really always used to get, worried about, or a thing that used to really bother me was about superiority, inferiority complex living with the body. But here I don't get that, and I feel really good about it. So, yes, these are the few things that I really feel good living here in the United States.
So, what are the good experiences that you had staying in US?
I did not have a lot of good experiences. I did, but they were especially in the universities back in Kentucky and Georgia. I found myself surrounded with a lot of students because they were really big universities. So it was very easy to make friends there. Other thing was whenever there used to be a break, like Thanksgiving or Christmas or anything like that, they used to always invite me over to their house, and they were always welcoming, and they never let me feel as if I was an expat or somebody different. I feel very well connected to the audience here. But at times I do get bored because this is not the kind of lifestyle I'm used to. I feel too much peace. I don't like too much peace. Often I hear people saying, when I grow up, I would like to have a house by the woods that is all nice and peaceful and nobody to disturb. And that's just not me. I don't like that. It's very depressing.
What difficulties or challenges did you face when you first came to US?
First came to US, I would say I was actually surprised that I did not have a lot of language issues. But as far as difficulties goes, one major difficulty I had was adjusting to the classroom culture. I remember back in Dubai, the way the schools work is that they demand a lot of discipline from each and every student. So whenever you are in a class and you want to go to a restroom, you have to raise your hand and say, "May I go to the restroom, please?" And I thought it's the same thing even over here. So I ended up doing the same thing over here, and over the time I realized that's one of the most awkward things you can do, because there was a time I realized everybody was one day staring at me just for asking that question, and then I realized you don't really need to do all that. You can just walk out. By raising your hand, you are just causing more disturbance to the teacher and the students. So that kind of culture, adjusting to that kind of culture. Or once there was a conference in my school at Tech, and I found myself standing. It was a subconscious thought. It was something I did, not something involuntary. And so those kind of things I found a little, hard to adjust. But then eventually, it was not as bad as I thought.
Yeah.